Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Dragon's Tome. This is the third edition. This is our third episode of this little podcast that we're trying out. We'll see how it goes. My name is Jack.
I'm Chopper.
And I'm Rob.
And we're going to start by looking, as we do, at the cover. And let's just say that this cover, well, I'll let someone else. Rob, what do you think about this cover for the third installment?
It's October 1976, by the way, Jack. That's what you're supposed to say, but sorry. Yeah, this is a planet by Seaton/Jancy, and it looks like a 2-year-old drew it.
It's
Am
very
I being too harsh?
It looks like a Yes cover album from an album from Yes.
Maybe it looks like someone did their own version of Yes cover album, because it's not very good.
It looks like a no cover to me.
There's like, you can see where somebody did all the black. You can see the marker lines.
I didn't look that deep into it. Is it that bad?
Oh yeah, it looks like a little kid's notebook, and somebody put it on here. I think at this point they were probably desperate for any covers. It's before.
Well, I won't lie. There is an ad in this episode that's asking for authors and artists.
Yeah, so I think they were desperate at this point.
Well, like Rob said, like he angrily blurted out, this is from October, and and yeah, I honestly would have thought a spooktacular cover. I was shocked that it was a for those who can't see it, it's kind of a planetary Earth-like. Yeah, it's a blob of space with a sun and a planet that has a ring around it, and there's a nebula in the background and
I guess that's a rocket ship. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the nice pink color to offset that is it's really appropriate for Halloween.
Yes, a pink color that you can still see the lines because it was a linen paper stock that they drew on. It's something. And again, my critique is a ghosty, ghouly, goblin-y, pumpkin-y something or other for October. No,
Maybe they didn't believe in Halloween back then.
that is true. Maybe Samhain had not been invented yet. I don't know. I'm not a historian. I don't know.
Comment below if you are a historian.
Who knows all about the
I hope someone gives us like the Wikipedia entry for Halloween, just to prove us wrong.
Well,
we know it was invented in 1960, okay?
Samuel M. Geist, he just was walking around with his sack of treats and treasures, and someone decided to make it a thing. We all know. We all
know what happened. Big Candy got involved, and
Big Candy.
That's right. Piggybacking on that St. Valentine and all his cards he was giving out, they're like, this is a moneymaker.
Ralph Hershey's and Mick Reese's, they got their hands into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we know. You don't need to comment about Halloween. Anyways, how come the one I'm hosting is the one that goes off the rails?
I wonder.
I'm not taking any responsibility for that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, so I'm going to say, hey, Patrick, what article did you peruse and thought everyone would want to hear your take?
The first article I did is the new view on dwarves. Like there was an old view on dwarves.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
I read this article, and it's basically the template for the dwarf character for the red box, and then what leads into AD&D. But the Larry Smith article, he wrote this, says like, it starts with, contrary to public opinion, dwarves are not the poor fighters that many claim they are. I've never not known one poor dwarf fighter in any book that I've ever read.
And they do make a
Gimli
reference
is terrible.
to Tolkien.
Yeah, Gimli is the worst dwarf ever, so it makes sense.
So, well, he actually uses Gimli now. He says Gimli proved that in Tolkien's LOTR, Gimli proved that the fact that he is just a good fighter as anyone else.
So are all the dwarves in The Hobbit? Like, there's a lot of dwarves in The Hobbit. They're all good fighters.
I know. So I don't know where why this started out like this.
Wherever this Larry Smith's been playing, they must really hate dwarves and just, like, they've been, making a fool of dwarves.
I just don't understand where it's coming from. But as once I got past all that, it was a fairly okay article because then now I get to see the template of how they laid out dwarves, because you remember in the basic set it was dwarves was a class. It wasn't even a race. It was a race and a class that you could play.
Yep.
And this is the template for that. It kills me that it even puts two paragraphs: dwarves as clerics and dwarves as thieves.
Yeah. So yeah.
So
that's what that would become like AD&D. Eventually, dwarves could be clerics and thieves, but.
Mm-hmm. Actually, dwarves was a very popular cleric race to play.
Mm-hmm.
But and it gets to the charts and everything. But I just it really piqued my interest because it's like I don't understand this new view. Please tell me what the old view was, because I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Probably like in the newsletters at the time, people are just dwarves are farmers and miners. They're not fighters. Like it's weird.
I
think Larry was the forefront of the clickbait. That's a straw man for sure.
Well, he got me.
He said something. He put an argument out there that didn't exist, so that he could smash it to pieces.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He went on to great things, I'm sure. Every pop-up ad that came up.
This will tell you exactly to prove Jack's point. The last sentence of that opening paragraph is, "This article is here as an attempt to bring the dwarves once more into the proper perspective that they deserve." Smash.
Got him.
Got him.
The big elf. Once again, the elves were running everything before this guy came along.
Yeah. Now he's changed everyone's opinion. Speaking of changing opinions, Rob, what did you peruse and thought perhaps everyone wanted to hear?
Oh, I always have to talk about Dragon Rumbles because Timothy Cask is on it again, because this time I guess they got a lot of letters after the last episode, after the last issue, because he has to defend his so much. Last time we even said it in the show how much fiction was in it, and so he starts off by discussing what the meaning of fantasy is and how it relates to fiction, and so that he could defend why he had so many stories in the last issue. Which, once again, I'm sure it's because that's all they had to put in it. But he also throws the typesetter under the bus for screwing up the font of the story, saying it was too big and that it made it too long, so it made it even seem like it was longer. And I'm like, really?
Well, if we're gonna be discussing typesetting in a little bit, because one of the articles I'm gonna discuss, it was a disaster. The kerning was awful. It was quite bad. But anyways, yes.
Yeah. Jack comes from a printing background, so he knows all this stuff.
He said some words I didn't understand.
But Timothy here, he also relents and says there'll be less fiction than Legacy, luckily for us. So there you go. So that was the Dragon Rumbles this week. He defended himself by saying you guys are all stupid, but okay, we'll have less fiction. That was his argument. Jack, what about you? What was your first article?
That's a classic. I'm sorry you're offended apology.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm right, but I'm sorry you were offended.
Exactly. So for me, I told you there'd be a time when I highlighted an ad, not an article, and that's just because I'm going rogue. I'm a wild card.
You are a wild card.
I'm the wild card bitches, and then I just do what I want. On page 3, there is an ad for something called the Star Web.
That's why I happened to go to exactly that ad. If I was going to guess the ad you're going to talk about, it's because of the drawing, isn't it, Jack?
Because it is a throwback to a bygone era. It is a multiplayer play-by-mail strategy game. And
I haven't done that in years.
No one has.
No one has.
No one has.
There's something called the internet.
Well, it changed to play by email after that. Then.
Yeah, but we also have Roll20 now. We don't need to play by anything but live action. We can be playing a role-playing game right now over terrible Skype.
And even by the time play by email showed up, everyone was like, this is still lame because we also have video games. Like, it is a throwback where you would pay $10 to play, and every 2 weeks you took a turn. I cannot imagine anyone on the planet right now would tolerate.
Well, I can say right now, I play Civ with these two guys, and I can't stand to like 2 minutes it takes them to do their turn. So I would be killing myself if I had to wait 2 weeks.
But yes, it's got a nicely drawn picture of rockets, and it looks kind of like a, I don't know, aside from the fact that Jesus is also there, Jesus and two followers. It's some classic sci-fi.
And the guy's in the classic Heisman pose too, like he's about to throw a football.
Yeah, like this could be like a propaganda picture from like the 1944. He's gazing off at the stars, and the rock is shooting behind him, and then you got Jesus, two monks, and a little creeper robot behind him, just looking at you.
Yeah, he's got an alien. The creeper robot's got the look on his face is great. He's just like, he's got little two fangs, and he's just staring at the guy, like, I'm gonna stab this guy in the back.
It looks like if anyone's watched Futurama, if the Clamps robot, this is his half brother Simon, and he's goddamn guaranteeing that if you play this game, he will cut you, like he hates you. Yeah, so that is it. If anyone wanted to use their Master Charge or Bank of America card to pay $10 to play this game by Flying Buffalo, you go right ahead.
Master Charge.
Yeah,
Master you gotta think about it too. $10 was like expensive in 1976.
Is that so? $10 is that for like you just get into the game? It's a one-time fee, I guess. You don't have to pay that monthly or something like that. Oh, there you go. Its fee is $1 per turn. That's $2 a month. Jeez, it's not a cheap game to get into.
But just to get into the game, it was $10. So
yeah, $10 to get in and $2 a month.
But again, Clamps is there, so you know, if Space Jesus doesn't get you, Clamps will.
There you go.
So Patrick, do you have a second thing you want to share with the people?
It's the article that we talked about in the beginning with the artists. It's the ad that says the dragon needs authors and artists. What I forgot to mention was the astounding pay you got for being an author. If you want to look for it, Rob, it's on page 25.
Oh, 25? Sure.
Yeah. They'll pay 1 cent a word minimum for any articles or stories published.
1 cent a word?
So, and then art fees are a thing, but I think it's cool, funny that, 1 cent a word, and then artists, don't, if you send your originals, you have to make sure they're registered and everything.
So how long of a story would you need to write so that you could play Star Web? That's the important question.
Well, 1 cent, so 1,000 words.
Oh, okay.
And then if you wanted to, and then you need to run one article a month at 200 words.
But you can see how many words are in most of these articles. They're not that long, so they're making paid like $2 for an article.
Yeah, it's not that because these are not 1,000-point articles because these are columned articles.
Unless in future volumes they have Tolstoy writing some stuff for them, I don't believe there's any space or time. Okay, well then, Rob.
I will also preface again, 1976. If you got $200 for an article, that's still quite a bit.
Bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Once again, yeah. So my article is probably it's the most 76 thing maybe in these books so far.
I stayed away from it.
The notes.
I know.
Notes on women and magic.
Yeah.
This is the super sexist thing I've ever read, and it's pretty much how you can play as a woman in D&D. They can't be just normal characters. They have to have special rules.
Well, yeah, of course, because
I will beat you with my entry of unpleasantness, but yes, this is shocking that this was the rule set.
Len Lakovka, who I think was doing something else. Like he's like a real writer for the games. It's strength is reduced because obviously women can't be strong, and also they replaced charisma with a stat called beauty because girls can't be charismatic; they can only be beautiful. And oh my god, this is terrible. And the more you read, the more it's like, oh, this is cringe. If if this was released nowadays, whoever wrote it would be canceled in a second. It wouldn't even be a question. It would never make it into a magazine. That's for damn sure.
No.
I was just like, oh, man. But I just wanted to show that, yeah, in the 70s, obviously no girls played this game. And if they did, I hope they played it normally and didn't have to use their special rules on being a woman in D&D. So,
right. Now, this is back when for your level you had a little title and everything like that. And even looking at these,
the titles for the thieves are just killing me.
Wench, hag, jade, succubus, adventurous, soothsayer,
get to the last one. Get to the last one.
Sybil.
Because that's when Sybil came out, I think, too, around this time, wasn't it?
I don't know.
The girl with the movie with the girl with multiple personality disorder.
Probably around this time, yeah, for sure. And I think the match user one's the laziest because it just gets to witch and then just goes witch 10, witch 11, witch 12.
That was D&D in general. You ran out of titles.
Ran out of names. They didn't even give fighters names. Like, they didn't bother.
They did. They could be myrmidons.
Oh, up the top there, yeah. Fighting woman, swordsman, gladiator, battle maiden, shield maiden, Myrmidon, heroine, Valkyrie, war lady, 10th level. Yeah. Anyways, it was super sexist, and I thought I had to bring it up because it is terrible. So that was my second one. I have more too. If you guys don't, if you have nothing else, I got more to talk about this issue.
Here's the sexist part about it too. If you look in the bottom of the first column or second column, it says if the chainmail system, not man to man, is used.
It does go into like how to incorporate seduction and charming and all that stuff throughout. It is without a doubt a throwback to a time when you couldn't possibly, like, it says, okay, well, in female fighters obviously not as strong as a man, and like a whole bunch of stuff. It is wild, and I knew someone was going to highlight that.
Neutral and lawful clerics are never permitted to use their female charms. And we're not talking about charms, we're talking about just, being sexy. Anyways, next article, please. Let's get out of this.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then, in this, there's a bunch of different subclasses, an introduction to different subclasses of which I think is a nice addition to the game itself in the future. But I think this has got healers and samurai and a whole bunch of stuff. But there's a berserker. If you wanted to make a berserker, I'm going to highlight, and I think it's supposed to be a joke, but I cannot be sure. It's called the two penultimate subclasses, and it's on page 28. And the idiot class, and Gordon Davidson starts off with, in the first paragraph, how you can purchase a midget that makes you being an idiot funnier.
Oh my God.
And it is a delight. Now, it's followed up with another new subclass called the Jester. But I'm just going to say that you can pay some gold if you go into town, and you can become the town idiot, and you can purchase for 200 gold a midget, and then you can make enemies commit hara-kiri, which is not problematic either at all, or eat all its treasure. Or
I like how they didn't say commit suicide. They actually said harikari.
No, yeah. So it is a wild ride. Now I think this 1-2 punch of things that would never be written today.
It's a problematic issue.
It is a problematic issue, and I'm I like a good joke. So I think this was done for the sake of comedy. I think because
I don't know. You'd have a hard time convincing me that this.
There's a lot of rules here. It's not just one note. It's like
okay, because that's what I was going to say. does go on to jokes for spells, and there's some in there. There's some things in there that are a little, and it is page after page. But anyways, that is my article. The two penultimate subclasses, the Idiot Class by Gordon Davidson. It's a wild ride. Like the names of the levels are like dummy, dope, dolt, dullard, klutz, cretin. Like it is
weirdo.
You can maximize as you can go from an imbecile to an idiot. So yeah, that's what I decided to highlight.
Oof.
So yeah, that is.
I got more. I got some more articles I'd like to talk about.
Oh, do you? So are we gonna do that instead of the ads, or are we
No,
gonna
we can do
that
both.
and
We
some
got lots
ads?
of time here. I just want to quickly mention that there's something called birth tables in here, which
I kind of enjoyed that a little bit.
Yeah, they're the proto life paths that other games are known for, like a lot of the Artalosaurian games and those, and I think in Pathfinder actually has life paths. This is very similar to life paths. It's you roll to see what class you were born and how much money you have,
like the new Cyberpunk does that.
Yeah, Artalosaurian games. Yeah, so you find out you're a commoner, a merchant, a gentleman, a noble. Like it's a lot of rolling to find out your history, which is that's like a lot of games nowadays are based on this, and this is the first time that's shown by Brad Stock and Brian Lane. So those guys they don't get the credit for increasing maybe the first person to ever do life paths. And the other thing was there's out on the limb is their letters to the editor, and once again, the editor is hilarious because there's a couple letters in here, but a lot of them are bitching about Tolkien and how either one way or the other that they're screwing up Tolkien. And in the end, he says, the editor, he just says, there's two different articles here saying the exact opposite things, and yet they both can be jerks about it. And like, he really takes them to class. Like, it's so funny. And it just proves that people were assholes back then too. So I like, pedants talking about Tolkienism. So that's the other two quick hits I wanted to talk about. Any ads, anybody? Lankmar is the very first one, Pat. You were talking about Lankmar.
Yeah, I just remembered. I actually paid for that. I paid the $10 for that. I saved a lot of money up for that damn game.
Yep, by Fritz Lieber and Harry Fisher, I guess, invented Lankmar in like the 30s. I never knew about this. I thought that Fritz Lieber invented Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser and all that. But I guess it was from an earlier stuff. He just adopted it.
Yeah, he modernized it, I guess would be the word to say. But look at that. You get 1 year of Dragon Magazine for $9, which is a steal considering it's bi-monthly. So
yeah, it's only six issues. Yeah, so you are saving a little bit.
So is that a steal?
It would be, 6 times $150, whatever that would be.
Well,
it'd be...
it's $9.
$9, yes. You're not saving any money.
You're not getting any.
Good deal, guys.
Good job.
Yeah, Jack talked about Star Web. What else we got in here? Anything else new?
The mapping the dungeon is nice. This time now they got Canada and England listings.
Oh, and they had the Judges Guild, which is a club for GMs, $12 a year, and you can join this GM club, and it gives you tips about GMing. That's kind of cool. Oh, and D&D Swords and Spells supplement. That's another one of those, the new D&D supplement, like you say, little pamphlets that they're putting out.
That was the only one I was going to address, and I think all it is a way to change scales, the scale of miniatures you're using, and some other stuff to the addition of some other things. It's again $5 for what's probably a small.
Well, this is not just. It's the first time they added miniature rules to D&D. This is them adding. Before it was used chainmail, or you had some bodged together one. This is them actually doing it officially as miniature rules in D&D. So, yeah, funny. He says you can use 1/10 scale figures or 1-to-1 scale figures. So you can do LARPing. It's LARPing before LARPing.
LARPing before LARPing.
And yeah, I think that's the only. Any other ads you guys see that you want to talk about?
No, they have the elimination tournament winners listed.
Yep, that crazy 100-man elimination tournament. Oh, and there's also something called Winter Fantasy 1 Con in Lake Geneva. This is not one of the famous cons that kept going, I don't think.
No, I think that con is no longer.
Nobody wants to go to Lake Geneva in January.
Ugh, Wisconsin in January is cold. That's for sure. So.
Excellent. Okay, well, a job well done, gentlemen. I think we touched on some highlights and some. We're starting to get into it. I think the magazine's still in its infancy, as is our podcast here. Hopefully, both of them get much better.
Yes, we're crap because the magazine was crap. That's what's happening. That's right, Jack. It's true.
I'll take it. I'll take it. So, yes, thank you for listening, watching, and please touch the bell, rub that bell, and
I know what you're talking about first.
Just
rub the bell, touch
subscribe.
the thumb.
Yeah, just all the bells and whistles. Just get your hands all up in them. And yeah, thank you for listening. And this has been the Dragon Library.
No, Dragon's Tome.
Dragon's Tome. Nice.
In the Dragon Library. Come on.
He did that.
He did it on purpose.
Did you see my face? I looked at Ron.
We can see your face now.
I thought he was going to lash out. He disappointed.
I did lash out, but not as
Good.
aggressively as I normally would.
No, that'll come after the recording stops.
That's right. The next recording, Jack will have all red eyes because I've been yelling at him for 2 hours.
And I do cry blood on occasion. That is a thing. Anyways, have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.